All right. So good afternoon, everybody. This is Tanya Redding. I'm your 2021 SMAR president. And today, part of our leadership interview series, I am sitting down with all of our corporate sponsors. And today we have Pat Jenkins with Movement Mortgage. Pat is here today as a courtesy to us to kind of talk about the market and see where we're going and what her opinion is of where the real estate market is going with mortgages. So I want to thank you again for your corporate sponsorship and thank you for supporting SMAR.
You're welcome.
So the first question we have is, Pat, from your perspective, what would be one of your top concerns for the mortgage industry heading into 2022?
Well, first, thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to do this. My primary concern is interest rates. We're looking at the Federal Reserve, who will be tapering their support of mortgage bonds and Treasury securities soon. How soon is questioned, but I believe a big announcement will be coming out in September, and we will then know that probably not until early 2022, because they promised a good lead time, that they will stop buying so many of the bonds, and that will then cause interest rates to go up. Are they going up dramatically? No. You know, if the rate is 3% today, I would say by the end of 2022, we're maybe looking at 3.5%. Okay. So not dramatic, but every time they say they're going to raise rates, everyone panics.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I tell some of my clients now, okay, 3%, should they go to 4%, maybe? There were people like my parents who bought in, the 70s and 80s that were at 18 and 19%. So right. Big picture, we're still going to be okay. But yes, that does reduce the buying power of buyers.
It does.
And that's what buyers have to understand.
That is one of the concerns, that especially at the lower end of the market, that it might really constrain the first-time buyers.
Mm-hmm.
One, there's no inventory in that market. Two, then the rates move up a little bit. It's going to make it harder for them to qualify.
Right.
And that is a concern.
Yes, exactly. So let's see, what market issues are you seeing currently in Southern Maryland, and how do you see the balance of 2021 and 22 unfolding in our marketplace specifically?
Okay, that's a mouthful.
It is.
So, Southern Maryland is still doing very well, although I think we have all seen a slowdown since probably starting in May. It's been a little up and down. June and July were not spectacular. I talked to a lot of realtors and other lenders, and everybody's seeing the same thing. There is press that would like you to believe that it's the beginning of the end. It's the summer slowdown.
Right, it's normal.
And some of us were sort of blindsided by it because we had no summer slowdown last year.
Yes.
We just charged on through, and there was no stopping.
Right.
Well, this is normal.
Yes.
And my guess would be by middle of September, we'll be going full bore again. Yes. Do we need to go back to having 10 offers in the first 30 minutes something goes on the market? No, but it's still going to be a robust market through the end of the year, and I believe on into 2022.
I agree. That's why I tell my sellers, people are calling me saying, what's going on? Are things slowing down? I said, what, real estate's cyclical, and every year, but maybe last year, it slows down in the summer. People go on vacation.
It does.
And once the kids get back to school, college kids go back to college, about the middle of September, I am just as busy, or have been in years past, from September to December as I am from that February to June time frame.
Absolutely.
So I think you're probably right. We don't need to worry too terribly much. We don't want people flipping out, and that's what I tell them.
The other thing that's happening is that sales have slowed down just a little bit, which has allowed inventory to pick up a little bit. The July numbers for Southern Maryland play that out.
Right.
We still are in a very short, days on market, and things are moving quickly, but it has allowed a little time, and that's a good thing. We need a little time for inventory to catch up.
Yes. And it gives people, buyers, a time to take a breath when they see a house. It's not like they have to jump right then and there, which some of them, that's hard for some people to do when you're putting all this money into the biggest investment you ever make.
That's
So,
very true.
I
And the people
understand.
who maybe had given up
yes.
because they just felt it was too stressful,
Mhm.
they didn't want to have to be rushed into a decision. Maybe now they have an opportunity to buy a home.
Right, exactly. So is there anything you think that SMAR as the association should be focused on in the next 3 years?
I think just continuing to bring in more membership to SMAR and continuing the education that you provide to ensure that the high level of service and professionalism that exists in Southern Maryland continues on into the future. That to me is the biggest thing that needs to happen.
I agree.
I
agree.
do have a little bit of a maybe offbeat thought,
Okay.
and that is that as far as affiliates go,
Mhm.
that maybe it's a good time over the next 3 years to start having more sharing of information from realtors to lenders, from lenders to realtors to
Mhm.
title companies, maybe even an educational symposium
Mhm.
where different constituents could talk about what's happening in their world and get as granular as you want or keep it as general as you want. But I think it could be a good way to really build those bonds
Mhm.
and help everyone to be better at their job.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll take note of that. And as we both know, in this industry, change and adapting to change is essential for survival and success. Is there anything you could share from what you have learned or adjusted to in the last 12 to 18 months that may be helpful for SMAR members?
Well, there's been a lot of adjusting going on for all of us.
Yes.
You know what I would say? First and foremost, we've all learned that we need to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
Our physical wellness, our mental wellness, and our spiritual wellness, because we've all been somewhat isolated.
Mhm.
And it's just become all that much more important to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because
Mhm.
until you're taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else, including your clients.
Right.
And so I would say number one. Number two would be to, you've got to be flexible and you've got to be nimble. You have to be able to pivot when the circumstances present themselves, like they have over the last 12 to 18 months, where we all suddenly had to rethink how we do everything.
Right.
And those who were not able to adapt as quickly have suffered.
Mhm.
And, you really need to be looking forward and trying to anticipate and being ready for the next thing to come. Not that any of us could have been ready for the last 12 to 18 months.
Nope,
But
definitely
I
surprised.
think that's really important.
Right.
If you don't do it, you're not going to survive in this business.
Definitely have to be flexible and have to be able to go with the flow and figure it out. That's for sure.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Exactly.
So do you have any questions that you'd like to ask me?
Wow. So I will ask you on a personal level, what do you see your role as with SMAR moving forward?
Well, luckily I'm going out, so I will no
Yes.
longer be president,
Yes.
which
So,
is nice.
so
but-
what's next?
So basically what's next is I end up being a regional vice president on the state board for Southern Maryland. So I will be
Wonderful.
representing us on the state board, which they may or may not be happy with, but it's all good because I am one that stands up and does what I think is right for SMAR, not necessarily what the political correctness is, as you probably know.
Yes.
So,
Well, and that's what we need. We
yeah.
need somebody who will stand up for Southern Maryland.
And I do my
And-
very best for that. And I think it's good. I mean, I think we've got a lot of strong leadership coming up the ranks here at our board. We've got some great people that are running for board membership. We still want to get more people involved, new agents, experienced agents. We really would like everyone to try and get onto committees and get involved in the community. I think that's all very important. So that's what we're striving to continue. Chris Hill and I, we kind of started that whole process with getting the advertising group that we have and trying to reach out to more people and do those fun things. So
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I greatly appreciate you again and your sponsorship and helping support SMAR. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome, and I appreciate being a part of it.
Well, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you.